And so, in the reign of Queen George VII, it came to pass that the Moon Kaiser commissioned the construction of a vast lunar cannon, aimed directly at London. Soon every man, woman, and child strong enough to hold a rifle was conscripted and sent off to fight for Queen and country. I was serving in the 42nd Starborne Division, while Tim was still busy being mortal, like an idiot. I can almost hear the recruiter's ad now.
Grab yourself a laser lad and serve your queen with a smile, smile, smile. Light 'em with your Lucifer and burn 'em clean. Smile, boys, that's the style. Come on a grand adventure against a foe most vile. So grab yourself a laser lad and serve your queen with a smile, smile, smile. Come on, boys, the moon's not so far away and we'll be home by Christmas. Let's give the Kaiser a damn good thrashing. Lenny won't know what hit him. So join the Starborne Infantry and serve your country.
Of course, when Tim arrived, alongside his best friend Bertie, it was a very different story indeed. The surface of the moon had been deserted for centuries, so all the fighting took place in the vast caverns and tunnels that riddled it. It was muddy, it was dusty, it was cold, and most of the time it was pitch dark, aside from muzzle flashes, or your comrades catching fire as the invisible beam of heat swept through no man's land. And aside from that, you always had to keep one ear open for the alarms. If it was a gas attack, you could usually get to a respirator in time, or maybe even trust the pumps to take care of it. But if it was a microwave attack, you had to get to one of your foxholes and cover yourself in lead, or you'd be cooked from the inside out. I was having a great time, but Tim and Bertie found their own ways to deal with it.
Gassed last night and gassed the night before. Gonna be gassed tonight if we never gassed no more.
When you're gassed, you're sick as you can be, 'cause Novichok and mustard gas are much too much for me. They're choking us, they're choking us. One respirator and it broke on us. Thank your lucky stars that the pumps still work, 'cause coughing up your lungs can be a chore.
Cooked last night and cooked the night before.
Gonna be cooked tonight if we never cooked no more. When you're cooked, you're hot as you can be, 'cause the Kaiser wants to microwave the British infantry. They're boiling us, they're boiling us. One lead sheet between the four of us. Thank your lucky stars that you taste so good, 'cause you wouldn't want your corpse to go to waste.
But I was not the only mechanism involved in the fighting. The toy soldier had enlisted alongside me, claiming that it would be jolly good fun, and indeed for the first few months fought valiantly by my side, but it was then we discovered something interesting about it. It would obey any order given to the letter, but it didn't necessarily matter which uniform the person giving the order wore. It disappeared after a few months, only to be captured later by our side, wearing the uniform of a corporal. Then, later, the colonel giving us our orders had a rather familiar moustache. I even heard it made field marshal for the other side once. Still, it seemed happy enough, after its fashion.
When little generals play at war, they don't care what they're fighting for. Playground battlefields arrive with soldier toys bereft of life, marching ever through
continued like this for 3 or 4 years, grim and desperate tunnel warfare, until Tim's best friend Bertie did what young men at war are prone to do, and died. The details are muddy, pointless, and quite frankly hilarious. But what's interesting is the effect it had on Tim.
We'll murder all the men with fury having sent, and we'll carpet Lenny's tunnels with their arms of been spent. They tried to shake up a result, but haven't made a dent, and the blood will run like wine. Take the prisoners, give no quarter, show them all the colour of their entrails on the floor. But the Kaiser's men and candles to the slaughter, and the blood will run like wine. We'll suck the ragged eyeballs out the sockets of their skulls, and existence is a bad disease that needs to be uncut. Upon their ancestors, the fresh our bayonets will dull, and their blood will run like wine. Take the prisoners in a quarter, show them all the colour of their entrails on the floor. The Kaiser's men are held to the slaughter, and their blood will run like wine. All together now! Take the prisoners in a quarter, show them all the colour of their entrails on the floor. The Kaiser's men are held to the slaughter, and their blood will run like wine.
So Gunpowder Tim cut a bloody red path through cannon and through infantry, dealing out his wrath. Battalions were gathered and charged with his destruction, but all of them fell to his maddened corruption. Such violence can't last though, and Tim's luck ran dry when Eleni lined a rifle up and let the lead fly. And when he awoke, he was chilled to the bone, kneeling unarmed at the Moon Kaiser's throne. And the Kaiser just smiled with his crown all askew, saying, "Well now, my friend, it's a pleasure to meet you. It seems you've made a habit of hacking up my boy, so I'll return the favour with all the means I can employ. An extended execution by royalty appointed, and I warn you, the last one left me very disappointed." So the Kaiser opens up a box and shows young Tim my head, fresh severed, but I winked at him, I guess I wasn't dead. Seeing there was hope, Tim looked around the room. The toy soldier, in uniform with a royal guardsman's plume. Accidentally it had joined the Kaiser's personal guard, but it still followed any order if you gave it nice and hard. Behind the throne the great gun stood aimed right at London town. Tim had his plan and he prepared to bring the despots down, with the lunar cannon loaded and his fuse prepared to light. Tim looked the soldier in the eye and he gave the order, "Fight!" Chaos came through the Kaiser's men, the violence quick and mad, as the wooden man obeyed the mission briefing that it had. I spun my severed head and bit the Kaiser on the nose. He screamed in shock and dropped me, so I went after his toes. Confusion reigned, Tim took his leave and ran towards the gun. He turned the dial so right around the cannon barrel spun. He didn't know the firing codes, it wouldn't stop him long, for the brutal hymn of Gunpowder remained his favourite song. And with a barrel from the armoury, he set the fuse alight and fled into the life pod, where the Kaiser spent the night. The pod was shielded hard against the force of 20 suns, but Tim couldn't get the visor closed before the fuse was done. So when the lunar cannon fired and blew the moon out of the sky, the piercing brightness of the blast burned out our hero's eyes. And with the force of every weary soldier's tunnel bomb, the explosion ripped through Full Moon's heart, and like that, the moon was gone.
In the dying light of Malone's twin sons, I set north the cityscape. I find you in the back of an orphan house, dreaming of escape. Well, the name's Smooth Mickey, I've been watching your work, and I like the way that it burns. But you don't understand who runs this world, and I think it's time you learn it. Well, the lucky sevens, they rule the streets. Their dice are loaded and they play for keeps. The fire burns bright in the cool dark night when the sevens are in luck. So take my hand, let's get out of here. Uncle Mickey will show you the way. We can use your pyromaniacal talents. Ashes, what do you say?
Well, all 11 years of my life I've been alone, and now there's you. So hand me the matches and the gasoline, 'cause we've got work to do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I'm a lucky 7, I'm in my beliefs. I got a loaded dice and I was born to cheat. The fire burns bright in the heat of night when the 7s are in luck.
Da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da,
Mick, you've been a 7 a long, long time. 12 years if it's been a day. Well, the aces are moving on our turf, and they seem to know our play.
What you saying?
We got a stool pigeon in our ranks, and I've been hunting down the snitch. Well, the trail leads back to you, Uncle Dear. Payback's gonna be a bitch.
Well, I always knew you were a real smart kid. I figured you might track me down, but they don't call me Smooth Mickey for nothing. I'm the big boss of this town. Well, you see, I needed a fall guy for the 7s to send to the grave. And by the smoke that you smell and the heat at your heels, you can guess whose name I gave. Well, the lucky 7s, they got you beat. Your dice may be loaded, but they melt in the heat. The fire burns bright under you tonight, 'cause Ashes, you're out of luck. Oh, the fire scorches your flesh and the smoke fills your lungs. Looks like your old snake eyes, Ashes O'Reilly. I guess your game is done. No, ain't no way I saw you burn.
Yeah, it's funny how that works out for you, isn't it?
What happened? It was nothing personal. Join up with me and the Aces. We're gonna rule this world.
No, I think I'll pass, actually.
Killing me ain't gonna do you no good, Ashes.
Oh, but it will make me feel so much better.
Wait. It's not just me, the Aces, the 7s, the Cups. They're all in it together. What you gonna do? Ain't enough gasoline out there to burn down an entire planet.
It's funny, actually. I might have believed you if you'd said that a while ago, but things have changed.
No, Ashes! Ashes, wait!
Well, the lucky 7s have lost their game, loaded down